I'm going to be working on some gingerbread, and I've traced one pattern off, and I did get this pattern off the internet somewhere. I don't know where, but I had it saved back in my files. So I've cut that out, and I traced one on the drop cloth, and then I've put one, well, actually traced two on a thin piece of board, probably about a 1/4 inch. I only need one, but I went ahead, since there was not a lot of the board left, I'm going to go ahead and cut two out. So I'm going to cut this out, this one out with the scroll saw, and this I'm just going to take to my sewing machine and just go right on the line of the gingerbread. All right, I traced my gingerbread off, and I took them to the sewing machine, and I went all the way around. I didn't leave any room for the stuffing because I'm going to make a little slit in the back to stuff it with. I'll stuff the legs, and then the arms and the head, and then fill the middle in. But I'm going to start working on this. I need to hit it with a heat gun right fast to get rid of my lines. That's a pen I use for sewing. Okay, and as you can see, I've already cut one out. I'm not turning this one inside out. I'm going to leave it like this. So I'm going to set this one aside and start working on this one. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take nutmeg brown, put it in here. I have an extra one if I need it, because this one was getting a little empty. But that ought to get one of them done anyway. And I'm going to add, I'm going to shake this up. This is my cinnamon, instant coffee, water, and some vanilla. And I want to add a little bit of that into this mixture. Whoa, I might have got a little more than I wanted. Let's stir that up. Okay. Yeah, it looks like a good color for a gingerbread, doesn't it? Get it stirred up good. Of course, I forgot my paintbrush. Okay, now, I'm just gonna cover him good. Boy, I figured it'd be a little more liquidy. That's soaking in. It's going to take me a little bit. Okay, I'm going to cover this on both sides. Well, let me get this one side finished. Okay, he is, I think, covered good now. Getting around the edges. I don't want any of the white to show. Now I'm going to take my cinnamon. I just want to sprinkle that all over him. When it dries, it should stay on fine. Okay, now I'm going to turn it over, and I'm going to do the other side. I have him finished now, and I'm going to kind of shake it. I'm going to clean this mat off a little bit, If I was at home, I would go ahead and stick it in the oven. I do have an oven here, but I forgot to bring a pan to set it on. So I'm gonna set it outside on the bench out front and let people walk by and wonder what in the world that strange lady's doing. I'll set it out there and let it dry because it is really wet. Okay, I'm trying to put some color on the cheeks, and I didn't bring my little daubers, so I'm just using some ink, stamping ink, and I'm using my finger to get it on there. Then I've got to figure out how I'm going to put the eyes on. You could probably use paint too, because that's pretty dark. And it'd be forgiving if you messed up, I think. All right, I'm going to figure out how to get the eyes on there, and I'll get it on the tripod so you can see what I'm doing. Now I'm going to put his face on him while he's not stuffed. And I'm going to tell you, I cut the hole back here, but I would suggest cutting the slit here before you color him in. And I was not thinking, and I brought thread to stitch it up the same color as the drop cloth, but it's darker. So I'll probably just use my black. It's going to be facing this way anyway. So I'm going to make the eyes. Oh boy, I don't really know how to do this, but I need to break this stick. Okay. I don't think those eyes will be too big. Okay, that looks all right. Let's put some little dots of white on the cheeks. Wonders where they go. Ah, that's a little too hard. I pushed. But that's it. I wished his cheeks showed up better. Now, maybe a little dot on of white in his eyes. Boy, I ripped that stick down. I got that way too big on this one. I'll wait till that dries. And I'll take my stick and kind of go around it. It will be fine. Now, I tied a little bow with that same material that I had set in here. And I'm going to put that right about there. Okay. And I'm not sure if I'm going to put buttons on him or not. That one little piece of string's in my way. Yeah, I think maybe a button like right here and right there. I'll get a pretty big dot. Now, I'm going to let that dry, and then I'm going to stuff him. I have some fiberfill, but I want to make sure this dries first. Okay, I went and got the other gingerbread man that I had. That's too big. Maybe I can hold that like that. I'm going to try to do that over. This is the first gingerbread I've done this season. I get good at it. Okay. I don't know if I can hold that or not. I have a smaller brush, just not here. And that ain't gonna work. Let's see if I just take some of it off. Yeah. I think that's working better. Okay, that's good. And I'm going to bring his eyes down some. I think his eyes are too far up on this one. Probably going to put them more like right in here. Well, get some ink on there, or paint. Ah. Okay. I like it down a little bit. Now, I'm going to go very lightly for an eye. Oh, I put my hand down. How am I going to clean that? I still have some of my paint left. If I can't get it out, it's good enough. I'll go over it with a little bit of paint. Now I'll tie another bow and put on him. Yeah, I like him down a little further. I'll go ahead and put his buttons on him while I've got this paint out. Okay, now I'm going to let him dry while I'm tying another bow. Set this one aside. It's not too bad, but I had this one as a backup, so I used it. Now I've started stuffing him. I've got his head stuffed. I think I'll move down to his legs. Put it in there, and I'll use my small finger to kind of stuff it in there. And then I'll go to the next leg. Alright guys, I'm going to finish stuffing him. I'm going to stuff his legs, then I'll move to his arms, and then I'll going to stuff his legs, his arms, stuff his belly, and I'm trying to figure out how I am actually going to get a needle through this stiff stuff. I may end up finding a way to just hot glue it a little bit to the batting to close it up. All right, I'll be back when I'm finished stuffing it and I figure out how I'm going to close it up, because I don't think a needle's going to go through this. I have him good and stuffed, and now I've got to seal him up. So I think what I'm going to do is just run a bead of hot glue right under here and right under here and hold it together. Let's see if that works. But that worked. Okay, now I gotta get my my sifter, because that's what I'm gonna put it in, and start decorating it all up. Okay, here I must have thought I hit record prior to it and didn't, so I don't have any kind of footage of what I'm doing. Well, you can see what I'm doing, but I'm making a little sign. I believe I got this off of, I think it was off of Etsy, but I'm gluing it up now, putting it together, and going to put the stick on it and make a little sign to go with my gingerbread and my old sifter. I'm going to put my stick up in there. And hold it for a little bit. Now I'm going to finish up these two little gingerbread that I cut out of 1/4 inch plywood, and I thought they could be used for an ornament or just hang them on a peg rack or something, because I'll probably take one and I probably will use it on a peg rack at home. I've drawn the faces on. I'm trying to figure out which face I like. That one. I don't know. I don't think it really matters. Anyways, I'm going to use the paint that I used on my little gingerbread. I did do this one. I have made 2 of them, and the other one's in my sifter, and now I'll just have that one for another project. And I'm going to use the same paint, and I don't think it's going to be heavy, so I think I might be able to see the face kind of through the wood. Yeah, a little, not a whole lot, but enough that I can probably draw it back on with paint. I'm going to paint both of these and let them dry. Then we'll come back and do the faces. Okay, I'm doing my cheeks again with my finger and my red ink. Well, got a little heavy-handed there. Heavy-fingered? Okay, well, I like it so. Put a little more on this side to match it. All right, that's good. And I took my pens home, so I'm gonna have to try to do this with a paintbrush. Okay, I stopped and got my paint. That stuff had cinnamon mixed in with it. I didn't really need my water yet. I'm just gonna try to lay the eyes like that. Okay. I'm just putting my paint brush in and twirling it to thin it. Trying to see where I left my pencil marks. Ah, I did it. I didn't mess it up. Now I'll let that black dry and I'll put a little speck of white in each eye. But I'm going to get my, going to go ahead and put my wire on. A little bit more. I'd rather have it too long as too short. Wonder if I have needle nose pliers. Yep. Making the hanger. Can't get that to go up in there. There we go. I'm going to stop for a minute and hit those eyes just a little bit with a heat gun. Okay. Now, just going to twirl this right here. And let's see. I want to put a little twirl. Am I going to be too short if I do that? Afraid I might be. I'll just make it one loop. If I'd had a little jingle bell or something, that'd been cute to put a jingle bell right there. But I don't have any here at the store. Okay, now I'm going to dot his eye. I need a sharp, there's one. Didn't get enough on that. I thought I did. Probably have too much now. Well, I hate to go on there with this much. I know that's too much. There. This one a little bigger. I wonder what it looked like if I took my brush and just put a little hair there. Just 3 little wisps. I better leave it. Okay, now I'm going to decorate it just a little bit more. So I'm going to stop and find some things. Hopefully I have something here to do that with. Well, I've pulled a few things out. I have some Homespun here. just tie that around in a knot. And I don't know which side I really want it on yet. Oh, that side's fine. And there's a little red berry, and here's a red berry. Need to cut that off. I'll mess with that bow here in a minute, or that material. Let's see. I want one right there and one right there. Get my glue gun. Get that out of my way. Well, man, I'm telling you, that glue strings, they're something else. Right there. Right there. These buttons kind of squishing down a bit. Now, I don't know if he needs anything else or not. I'm wondering. Okay, I'm going to turn the camera off and I'm going to mess with him because it'll take me a bit. And I don't know if I'll use anything at all. But I'm going to mess with this right here at least to get it to lay down right. Okay, I think I figured it out. I took the double knot or the knot out of it and just left it single, and I glued it all down to where it would stay. And I clipped just a little piece of this off, and I'm going to add that right there. Like that. And then put my little, I wonder if I have an even smaller pine cone. I might have. That little knot off from it. Set that right. Well, he's so itty bitty, he's closed up. Yeah, I think I like that one. Be cute to have a little teeny tiny red berry, but I don't know if I have one. And I should have went around him with some ink because he's just so plain. Let's see, maybe I have some here. Yep, I have some. Use that. I guess this tea dye. Should have done that part. Fixed him all up. Put him a little baked around the edges. All right, that gives him a little more something, and you know, it just looks so plain. All right, I think that looks better. And that was easy to do. I cut it out of wood, drilled the 2 little holes, and just decorated it a little bit. I made a cute little ornament or just a hanger off of a peg rack.